What up, y'all? Rap Critic here, and this was a request by Michael Adamovich for Shadowboxin by The Genius. And if you'd like to request a song, movie, or album stream, head over to Ko-fi now to take advantage of the Black November deal we've got going. There's only a limited amount of slots left, so get your requests reserved while they're still available. And goddamn, I'm glad y'all set it off, cause Wu-Tang is my shit! I just can't start a video about a member of this group without pointing out how legendary the whole clan is. It's no exaggeration to say these guys were true innovators of the 90s hip-hop scene, prolific in every sense of the word, at every angle you look at their legacy. Just lyric-wise, their uncompromising vernacular felt like a world unto itself. Their rhymes were often dense and filled with outlandish slang and phrases with complex, deeper meanings that invited curious ears to dissect and understand just what the heck they were talking about. And concerning song construction, they completely upended convention. Songs would frequently start with excerpts from kung fu movies, weaving the samples in like a tapestry to establish the aesthetic of the raps being a soundscape of lyrical martial arts. In fact, even the title is a reference to the common meaning of what shadowboxing is. You're not actually fighting anyone, you're just showcasing your abilities. And when you're in a booth not really going at anybody, that's what writing battle raps in the studio is akin to. See, they consider their tongues to be like proverbial swords, hence the name of GZA's album, Liquid Swords. So that's how they approach writing their parts, with every joint feeling like an actual live rhyme cipher where everyone was trying to legit outdo each other with their verses, turning out epic posse cuts with seemingly endless rhymes that made their true size as a group feel huge and mysterious, oftentimes with no catchy hook to ground the song. Now, for anyone who doesn't have the whole Wu-Tang lineup memorized, the main connecting tissues of the group are RZA, GZA, and Old Dirty Bastard. They were the three related cousins who essentially brought the rest of the crew together. Old Dirty was the wild frontman and my personal favorite as a kid for the longest time, and RZA was the beatmaker and handled the business side of things. But the genius, aka the GZA, he was the grand master of rhyme, a wordsmith penning lyrics you can really visualize.
You know woods robbing, snipers, new in sight. Like they escape before they flash the lights. Gunshots, shatter first floor window panes. Shells hit the ground and blood stain the dice game.
He was the one who taught RZA, and by extension the rest of the group, how to rap, and was the yardstick by which every other rapper in the group's skill was measured. Hell, just hearing the first line of his verse on this song immediately keys you into the craftsman-like way he constructs his rhymes.
I slayed them C's back in the rec room era. My style broke motherfucking backs like him for terror.
Starting with a wrestling reference to a mofo known for putting his victims into submission, alluding to his lyrical ability to do the same. And as he goes on, each line is imbued with the weight and gravity his vocal presence carries, with a rigid workman flow layered with frequent imagination-sparking imagery.
Check these non-visual tapes in a portrait. But the seminar trying to orbit this corporate industry. But what the can't see must break through like the whoop unexpectedly.
And today's song is a super pertinent example of their convention-breaking nature. Cause he's not the one who starts the song, it's actually Method Man. That's right, Meth, the typically more lighthearted rhymer of the group, steps up first on a single meant to be for the super serious Genius album. But that was all part and parcel to how the RZA wanted people to experience the Wu, blowing up how a rap group was supposed to function. See, individual Wu members would put out solo albums, but they'd be peppered with a whole bunch of verses from the other members, and different Wu members could be signed to traditionally competing record companies. So now all these different companies would be working in tandem to expand the Wu-Tang Clan's collective reach, any solo albums operating musically and financially like a finger extending from the hand of the Wu-Tang conglomerate. So when Meth starts a verse on a single for a GZA album, they're intentionally playing it so you still feel the weight of the rest of the group, to where solo LPs feel like group albums, just with more emphasis on certain members. And Meth's presence here is actually a bit of a break from convention for him as well. See, up to this point, he was the more high-energy guy. Like, if there was a hook on a track, it was usually him doing it, along with more fun, jokey bars.
Our peoples, are you with me where you at? In the front, in the back, killer bees on attack.
Like, his first single as the breakout star of the group had more in common with the pop culture sputtering goofiness of a Das FX and Rafu Schnickens.
So Peter Piper, I'm hyping up Pinocchio's nose, cause I'm a supercalifragilistic tic-tac-pro.
Chim chim money, chim chim chim, freak up flow and blow fancy free. Now how many hits does it take for me to hit the pushy motion of a break?
But for this track, he experimented with his flow to match the tone of GZA's project, taking more advantage of the hazy sound quality of his vocals to exhibit a more relaxed, low rumble of a delivery.
I breaks it down to the bone gristle, ill speaking, scud missile, heat seeking, Johnny blazing, nightmares like Wes Craven. It's gunning, my third eye seen it coming before it happened.
His way with words is still playful and loose, but you can hear a sneer in his voice that adds a more sinister color to his shit-talking, as he brags about how the Wu has completely taken over the industry.
You know about them statin kids, they smash it, everything, in any shape, form, or fashion.
Meth is clearly just having fun jumping from one rhyme to the next, less of a verbal tactician like GZA, and more playing it like a lyrical capoeira, dancing around the track with an ever-evolving rhyme scheme, often introducing internal rhymes in unexpected places that shift around the flow of his cadence like a slithering snake.
Know just what the fuck I'm doing. Rap insomniac, fiend to catch a nigga snoozing. Slip the cardiac, arrest me. Exorcist hip hop possess me. Crunching like a Nestle. You know my stage, burning to a third degree.
Like, you can't tell me you don't wish you were as cool as this motherfucker sounds.
No time for sleep, I get deep as a baritone. Killer bee that be holding down his honeycomb. Lounging son.
Now, of course, GZA comes through eventually and definitely represents.
Protect your neck, my sword still remains imperial. Before I blast the mic, RZA scratch off the cereal.
But then Meth comes back in with another jaw-dropping verse.
The mom starts to clicking, and the strategy is last at the plot thicken. It's me that bullshit. I don't give a cotton picking. Fuck about a brother trying to size a nigga up. I hold my own, hard hat protect the dome.
That's right, Meth returns for the third verse, with the kicker being, there's no also second verse for the GZA. The track starts and ends with Method Man. The reason being that, despite it being for the GZA's album, the skill exhibited in Meth's verses as he was going off were just so undeniably untouchable, RZA just felt it was finished the way it was. Which is insane to think of, because like I said, the genius is supposed to be the grand MC, the one with the main reputation for flawless, breathtaking lyrics. But here was Meth, clearly having fun, but nonetheless all but literally wrapping circles around the most celebrated lyricist of the group. But it just went to show how integrated they were into each other's music, how inextricably bonded they wanted to come off as a unit, that the guy who singled this is only on maybe a third of his own song, because it's not about one individual member, it's about the collective, and what genuinely works to make the dopest cut. Now in the music video, we don't get to hear the third verse, it actually just smash cuts to another song.
So the charge is 20 G's a session.
That's right, without any warning, they launch right into Fourth Chamber, a more alarming up-tempo track that I also love. And it's probably the best example of a cross-promo video, a tactic that a lot of rappers would do to usually irritating effect as years went on. Like sure, it's a great marketing tactic, 2 songs in one video helps boost the visibility of a less popular joint. But there'd be so many times where I'd hear that such and such song I liked actually had a music video, and I'd be like, oh word, I didn't remember that. Only to look it up and see, oh yeah, it was just a tacked on segment at the end of a video for a more popular song.
Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to f with. Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to f with.
New radio working for you, called Shame on the New. So everybody, watch out out there. Shame on the New, who tried to run game on the New. Your razor, hit me with the major, the damage, my clan understand.
But with this mashup, it feels like it's being purposefully done to enhance the overall cohesive feel of the video. Because first off, they actually play a significant portion of both songs, so that's nice, but also because one song feels like a foil for the other. The first track is slower and more menacing, like soldiers creeping through an ominous fog, while the second track ramps up the energy with a driving electric guitar and manic synth wails, simulating the charging feel of the war breaking out like they show in the video. In fact, the first song even kind of starts like it's a soldier pledging loyalty to their homeland. But yeah, the battle is on, as the one and only Ghostface Killah kicks things into high gear with his hyper-animated delivery and heightened larger-than-life descriptive brag raps that often inexplicably slide into unpredictable abstract tangents. Like, this opener is a perfect example of how his rhymes hit you.
The only man a whole wait for is the Sky Blue Valley Kid in 83 Rock Taylors.
Because at first, this sounds like a weird abstract bar, right? Like what, is he talking about being in service to some golden child from beyond the stars that he takes orders from? But no, this is him proclaiming his loyalty to the only dude whose flyness he respects enough to put his neck on the line to sell drugs for. Himself! As he uses the third-person perspective to brag about his flavorful fashion choices, rocking shoe wear and designer jeans the average dude wouldn't have the fashion wherewithal to even know about. With Bally's just being a comfortable shoe he likes, but Taylor's being an upscale designer jean label the envy of the New York streets in the 80s due to the brand's original location being in Brooklyn.
The kid whole white like Blacks rock ashy legs.
But just when you think it's all about drugs and flex and fashion, things actually start to slip into more complex territory, with weird pondering non-sequiturs about like science and religion.
Why is the sky blue?
Isn't it something about like when the chemicals are released from the...
Why is water wet?
I don't know. Liquids... Wait, does water count as being wet? Because the property of wetness...
Why did Judas rat the Romans while Jesus slept?
Oh, wow. That's really a lot to think about. Like, geez, what kind of mindset do you have to be in to believe a guy's the Messiah, yet you still sold him out for money anyways? Like, oh man, that's way too deep of a philosophical quandary to get into in a song about brag raps, and I haven't even gotten to the... There's still 2 other motherfuckers on the song! Although I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the little dig he gets in about the business side of things.
Promoters try to hold dope. Give me mine before Poe. Wrap you up in so and so.
Because that was him being a little cheeky by throwing in the nickname for Polite, who was their manager, who they felt wasn't fair he was getting paid before them. So this was him, immortalized on record, saying, we should be getting paid before you pay the promoters. We're the reason people are buying these records, goddammit. But yeah, Ghost just effortlessly floats around the track, spitting rhymes like they're just bubbling over out of his brain, letting the words flow as they glide and twist over the beat as he self-mythologizes with epic imagery.
Iron Man be sipping rum out of Stanley cups. Unflammable, Noriega, aiming nozzles. Stay windy in Chicago, spine tingle, mind boggle. Or in the dark ages, Constantine the Great, Henry the Eighth. Built with Genghis Khan, the Rex Wade while he gone.
Then Killer Priest pops up, a dope featured MC who's not actually part of the clan, but holds his own just as well against the official members.
My dome piece is like building stones in Greece. My poems are deep from ancient bones I speak.
Like, the word is Killer Priest was supposed to be an original member on the first album, but apparently dude was too high on angel dust or something to stay conscious enough to record, so Master Killer filled in the final verse under Mystery of Chessboxing instead, and the rest is history. But man, does dude not waste his opportunity here, spitting poetry that I dare say is just as epic as Ghostface, as he plays the role of a tacit observer of whack rappers who can't compare to his style.
I'm overwhelmed as my mind roams the realm. My eyes the visions, memory is the film. They act wild and couldn't budge a crowd, no matter how loud they get. Though they growl and spit, clutch their fists, and throw up signs like a crip.
And then the abbot himself, RZA, gets a verse, and even he goes the fuck off.
Camouflage chameleon, ninja scaling your building. No time to grab the gun, they already got your wife and children.
Sounds like he just got dropped in the middle of some action-packed blockbuster movie shit.
A hit was sent from the president, the rage of residence, because you had secret evidence and documents on how they raped the continents. And it's the prominent, dominant Islamic, Asiatic, black people.
I think all those adjectives made sense together. Although I do have to say, RZA does kind of slur and jam his words together at times. Plus he repeats some rhymes in a way that makes his part come off just a little sloppy.
Unload your snakes get forward and boiling lakes of hot oil. Oils your skin, chicken heads getting slim like olive oil.
Like, despite that whole bluster of words, you essentially just rhymed oil with oil.
Only plant the seed deep inside fertile soil, fortified with essential vitamin and minerals.
And what... Nigga, are you telling me how to plant crops right now?
12 tribes, 144,000 chosen. Protons, electrons always cause explosions.
Oh yeah, and that was his sign-off. A backronym for the word peace, sprawled out into words for each letter like an army dispatcher using words like Echo and Bravo to do the same. Also, I've heard them say it as positive energy activates constant elevation, but you know, this is the action-packed song, so I guess this fits better. And then the genius comes in at the end to round out the track.
It ain't hard to see my seeds need guard degree. I got mouths to feed, unnecessary beef is more cows to breed.
Well, in the original song anyways, but in the video, its final verse actually gets cut out.
Cause explosions.
That's right, in a video for his own single, that he directed by the way, he cuts out his own verse. Probably ultimately to make it short enough to fit on a video block rotation, but even so, you gotta admire the guy intentionally putting the crew before himself on his own project. Just goes to show how much he really believed in the group, clearly caring more about the craft of the overall presentation over his own ego. And what a presentation it is. It all comes together like a visual metaphor for the strategic way they plan to storm the industry, showcasing various styles that are raw and rugged, but still highlights their unmistakably individual flavors as artists. Well, overall, I give both these songs my break the scale 6 out of 5 rating. They're both incredible tracks from an incredible album, and the video gives you a dynamic look into the array of dope styles and instrumentation, and like honestly, I'm just trying to end this shit as quickly as possible so I can go back to listen to this shit again, because it's a goddamn classic. So yeah, that's the episode. Leave a like if you like because it helps, comment if you have something to say because it helps even more, and hit the subscribe button and the bell afterwards because the bell is what actually alerts you to new episodes. And if you want to keep up with everything I'm doing, check out my Linktree for Twitch streams, merch, movie and album review podcasts, and any other stuff I'm up to. So check all that fun stuff out and I'll catch you next time. Peace.